Hello, welcome back to Math 7 with Mr. Passon. Today we are talking about our percent unit, lesson 4, percent application. So if you go to Canvas and go to percentages week 1, then find unit 3, lesson 4. Open that one up, click the link to the slides, and make a copy. Now let's change the view so we can read it a little bit easier. One of the main focuses of a percent problem is sort of identifying the terminology and figuring out whether the percent is an increase or a decrease. Now, percentages can be applied to many situations. Okay, you must decode the various terms within the problem in order to understand how to solve the problem. So we're going to look at these terms. And we'll look at each of these terms and label each of them as an increase or a decrease. So if you're paying a tax, that's generally in addition to what you're normally paying for the price, so that is an increase. Sale price, well, that's often a decrease. It's going to be smaller than the original price. Amount off, that's a decrease. Tip, you're adding a tip to the original price, so that's an increase. Gratuity, that's again something that you're paying in addition to the original price, so that's an increase. And then markdown, that's generally the price getting lower, so that's a decrease. So you're going to look for the vocabulary that helps you decide whether, after you figure out your number, whether you're adding it, subtracting it, whether the number should be larger or should be smaller. Now, the key to solving a percent problem in real life is understanding what information you are given and what you are solving for. Let me move that up a bit so that way it ends up on the line. So you're going to be looking for whether you have a part, a whole, and what are you trying to calculate. So we're going to read this information, we're going to try to break it down, and we're going to think about what we need to find. So Savannah works as a sales rep and receives $23.80 for every $140 she sells. What is the rate of her commission? So we know, now we're thinking about our equation, part equals percent times whole. And again, this is my favorite one, so we're going to use that one a lot. We know the part is the $23.80. And we also know the whole. The thing that we're missing is the percent, which is our rate. All right? So let's go ahead and calculate that division. Now, remember, part over whole. That's going to give us our decimal, so we're going to take 2380 divided by 140. And that is 0.17, which is 17%. So we are solving for the rate, or percent, commission. So when we say a rate, that's really a percent in this case, and that is 17%. All right, let's go ahead and read number 2. The shoe department is offering a sale of 15% off all shoes. If Miss Jeffrey saved $12.30, how much were the shoes full price? Okay, so think about the given information. We know the percent discount. $15% off. We also know the sale, or the discount, which is the part, right? And that was $12.30. We are solving for the original price, which is the whole. So when we use our equation, part equals percent times whole, well, and I'm going to move this up just a little bit, so that way we can do a couple of equations in there. So let's go ahead and put in the pieces that we know. The discount was $12.30, and that has to be 15% of the whole. So let's divide $12.30 by that 0.15, and that means the original price was $82. So our whole is $82. Now I'm going to shrink that down a bit so that way it just looks a little bit better, and maybe I can take this one and just sort of move it out of the way. Good. So now I want you to read I'm going to read number 3 out loud, then I'm going to pause, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and do it, and then we're going to figure out it together. So Diego and his 3 cousins went on a road trip. They decided to add the cost of their hotel rooms throughout the trip and split it between themselves. Use the chart below to determine the cost of their hotels plus a 7% hotel tax. Then determine how much each cousin owes. Okay, so you've had a chance to worry about that. Now our tax is our part, so remember we're using part equals percent times whole. So for us, our tax equals 0.07, that's 7%, times the cost of our hotels. So for the first one, in fact, we can add up all 3 hotels, $88 plus $76 plus $92. So if we add up those 3 numbers and then multiply by 0.07, that should give us our tax. So let's go ahead and do that. Equals 0.07 times 88 plus 76 plus 92. So the tax they paid was $17, and I already forgot what it was, $17.92. Now, this was in addition to the cost of the room. So we have to take the cost of the room, which is 88, plus 76, plus 92, plus the tax, which was $17.92. So now we're adding up all those numbers. So equals our 1792 plus 88 plus 76 plus 92. So that is $273. And I already forgot the number of cents, and 92 cents. Now that's being split up between Diego and his 3 cousins. So there's 4 of them total. So we're going to take our $273.92 and we're going to divide it 4 different ways. So that's $68.48 per person. So we had our tax, then we had our total, and then we had divided by 4 to get the cost per person. All right. Now, there were a lot of steps in there. First, we had to find the tax. Then we had to realize that we had to add the tax to the original price. Then we had to divide the whole thing by 4. All that was broken down in this information here. So it's really important that you read the problem carefully and identify what you know, what you're trying to find, and all the sort of steps in between. Let's go ahead and look at it again on slide 2. We're going to have 5 more problems, and each time I'd like you to read it and try to figure out ahead of time, then we're going to go over it. So pause the video here, work through 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can still pause in between each one if you want to work through 4 and then see our answer for 4. Okay, so we're going to go over number 4 now. A customer comes in looking for items to get started painting. Ariana offers her a paint palette, paint brush, and a sketchbook, she tells the customer that if she buys all three, she will give her a 15% discount. Approximately how much will the customer save? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the prices. We're getting them from up here. So what we have is that we have several different items. So we're looking at the paint palette, so that's $24. We have a paint brush, which is $10.50. And we have a sketchbook, which I can't see the price because it's hidden behind there, $16.12. Now, we're going to first find the total of all three. So we can just add them together. That's our total. And then we want 15% of that. So we're going to multiply that. So remember, we're using the equation part equals percent times whole. So our discount equals 0.15 times our whole. So we're going to take off $7.59. All right. So let's take the original price minus the 15% off, and the customer is going to pay $42.03. All right. How much will the customer save? Oh, I guess that was just our discount part. So the customer is going to save about $7.59. I'm going to just hit enter down here. So the work is, we added up, we took 15%, 0.15 times, and we added up those three numbers, which I'm going to pull off here so I can write them down. 24 plus $10.50 plus $16.12, and we got that was $7.59. So the customer saves $7.59. All right. How much will her total be, not including tax? Well, that was the original total price minus our percent. So if we added everything up, it was $50.62 minus $7.59. And that came out to be $43.03. Right? Part of Ariana's earnings are based on a 5% commission rate. At the end of the day, Ariana earns $14.98 in commission. How much did Ariana sell that day? So remember that it's part equals percent times whole, right? So her part was $14.98, and that equals 5%. So 0.05 times the whole. And to figure out what that whole is, we can go back and do our division. So we're going to take our $14.98 and divide by 0.05. And we get $299. So our whole was $299.60. Notice that I added that extra zero because when we're talking about money, we always go to the hundreds place. All right. So let's go ahead and see if we can figure out this next one, number 7. Again, I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to give you you should pause the video, try to figure it out on your own, and then we'll go over it. Mr. Jameson, an art teacher, would like to purchase enough supplies to get his class stocked. So he picked up 8 dozen sketch pads, 8 dozen colored pencils, and 3 dozen art gum erasers. If the sales tax rate is 8% approximately, what will his bill be? So let's go ahead and try to break that down. First, let's find the cost of the items, right? So I'm going to write these down so that way it's easy for us to remember. So we started with And I'm going to write these off screen and then pull it so we have sketch pencils. So we have pencils. And then we had 8 dozen, which is 8 times 12. Alright. Then we had 6 dozen colored pencils. So colored pencils. And that was 6 times 12. Then we had 3 dozen art gum erasers. So erasers. And that was 3 times 12. And so what you're seeing here is, I'm going to go ahead and move this over so you can see how I'm doing the work. So here's our count. Right, now let's go ahead and put our price up here. Right, so let's go ahead and look at our prices. So for our colored pencils, 1 dozen. Oh, I guess these come in boxes of 1 dozen. So rather, we have 6 boxes, and that was $7.88. Our sketch pencils for 1 dozen, and we had 8 dozen of those, was $4.66. And then for the erasers, for 3 dozen, it's going to be $6.54. So we're going to have to multiply how many we bought times the price. Right? So far, we're spending $37 on regular pencils, $47.28 on colored pencils, and then $19.62 on erasers. Let's find our total, and we're just going to add up our numbers. Now we still have to find our tax. So remember, our tax equals, was it 7% or 8%? Let's see. So I'm going to go back here to look at our problem. Our tax was 8%. Right? So it's 0.08 times that number there. So if we take our total plus our tax, that's going to be our grand total. And it should be approximately $112.51. Alright? Last problem. The last customer of the day is a loyal customer who brings in a $15 off coupon. She purchased 2 paintbrushes, 1 dozen colored pencils, and 1 sketchbook. What percent did she save using her coupon? So first we need to find the total. And so I'm going to, again, write down the information that's important to us. So first I'm going to write down what she bought so I can go back and get my prices. So it's 2 brushes, 1 dozen colored pencils, 1 sketchbook. Alright, let's go and get the prices for those. So 2 brushes, well, each brush is $10.50, so we've got two of them at $10.50. We've got 1 dozen colored pencils at $7.88, and then we've got 1 sketchbook at $16.12. So let's figure out the cost of each. Oh, that made that too big and popped in the wrong place. So we've got How much did she spend on brushes? Well, she spent $21 on brushes, $7.88 on colored pencils, $16.12 on that, and we can find our total. And again, I'm using that fancy word sum, which means I just add up all the numbers. And so she spent $45, but she had a $15 off. So let's figure out what 15 divided by 45 is. So it looks like she got a 33% discount. Well, 33 1/3. Right? So when we calculate all of the things and add up, and it cost her $45, and she had $15 off, so 15 divided by 45 is 0.333333333, which is 33 1/3%.